Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with a review of the new Currency and Alchemist collaborative album entitled Continuous. Let's get to it. Alright, so Currency, aka Spitta, is an ultra prolific rapper coming out of New Orleans who has been putting it down since the early 2000s, but he really came into his own artistically during the blog era of the 2010s. The man puts out a plethora of projects annually, so it's really hard for me to keep up with all of his drops if I'm being completely honest. Now, this time around, he is linked back up with the legendary The Alchemist. This dynamic duo had dropped their highly praised Covert Coupe project back in 2011, and in 2016 they had followed that up with the Carlton Heist and then Fetty with Freddie Gibbs in 2018. But this brand new collaboration is entitled Continuance, which is said to not be a sequel to Covert Coupe. It contains 13 tracks and lasts approximately 37 minutes. Now, all the instrumentals are handled by The Alchemist, of course. The features include Bodie James, Havoc, Wiz, Styles P, Babyface Ray, and Larry June. With that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track-by-track breakdown. The opener, Half Moon Mornings, has a very subtle and spacious backdrop. It's mellow, smooth, but also low energy. I didn't necessarily dislike it, as they did capture their aesthetic to a T, but I found the production to be a bit drowsy and nauseating. Now, track 2, Reese's Cup, has a gorgeous piano arpeggio loop that's very fitting for Currency's fly, vivid luxury raps. It's one of my favorite beats on the album. His opening lines grabbed my attention too, handing out styles like crack vowels, hundreds and stacks, 20s and pals. Next is No Yeast, which finds Currency and Bodie James trading bars over a captivating soul sample with muffled drums. Now, so far in 2022, I've heard a few really attractive soul beats, but this one is easily one of the best at the moment. Bodie came through with some solid bars like, "Me and Khan the Machine embody the mafia regime. Are you in Detroit, Motor City? I run DMC. These dudes better get down with the Kings." But it was Currency who delivered one of his stronger performances on the album. You could just tell that the beat inspired him to be a little more enthusiastic than normal. The following song, Obsession, is set to a nocturnal instrumental with some more low end. There's this late night creeping through the fog kind of aesthetic going on also, which is cool. Here, he's rapping about his obsession with the paper and his continued success. There's also a Scarface movie line that was pretty dope. Sosa laid the tone, and while over them, Omar Suarez's body was swinging from the helicopter from people not doing their business proper. Learn how to extract the jewels from the movies you watching. And that's one of the things that resonates with me about Currency's music. It's the way he highlights certain obscure scenes from movies that you could gain some wisdom or a jewel from. And he's done it countless times from movies like The Mac, Belly, and Superfly. Right after is the posse cut Corvette Rally Stripes featuring Havoc, a Mobb Deep, and Wiz Khalifa. Now, this has a slightly darker and trippy instrumental that kind of gave off a 1960s cartoon vibes, maybe something from the Scooby-Doo era. Given the features, I'd assume the instrumentation would have been a little punchier, but the vibe-heavy and dreamy beat works, as Havoc and Wiz give us some of their best performances in recent memory. Like, Havoc and Wiz really showed out and rapped with enthusiasm over this Alchemist beat. Immediately following is Whale Watching featuring Styles P, which offers another mellow and hypnotic soundscape. The low-key guitar lick gives off an Overcast, Sitting by the Dock of the Bay aesthetic. As a whole, I like it because Currency and Styles P have a decent chemistry, but it's just super slow tempo and laid back. I mean, some could even deem this track as hella sleepy. Then the pace picks up with The Tonight Show. It's a track with an off-kilter horn loop that sounds like it was lifted off a 70s sitcom or game show. It's also Alchemist going into his familiar drumless loop territory. Currency only provides one verse, but it's filled with pretty descriptive imagery, like when he raps, This the James Worthy and New Balance brand, new Converse on Magic, the goggles on Kurt Rambis. Or when he ponders leaving New Orleans for safety reasons, but then comes to the realization that no one else will be able to bring out the spaceships quite like he does. And this is obviously a reference to his impressive car collection. Track 8, Signature Moves, finds Spitta kicking some streetwise game over clashing synth chords. It's hypnotic as ever, but also understated. It's another one verse song, but Curren$y had a line or two that stood out, like, "My homies gangbang, I just low ride. I'm very cautious when I'm over there. I can tell you how to survive if you would land an ear. Gotta know how to listen and not just hear." So it's very pragmatic, street savvy, and level-headed game that we're getting from Spitta. The subsequent track, Louis Baggage, sounds like it's suited for a road trip on a rainy day. The moody guitar licks are vibe inducing, and Curren$y definitely sets the mood with opening lines like, "In the gray flannel with the Sade jamming, double antennas on the pink Impala." But then we have a pretty subdued performance from Babyface Ray, who didn't exude his typical dope boy aesthetic. He seemed to tone it down to match Curren$y's energy almost. While I don't have this as a highlight, I think it's another cool and mellow track to ride out to. Afterwards is Final Board, which has a two-part instrumental, the first being a slower and dramatic piano beat, while the second goes into psychedelic rock territory. On this one, Curren$y talks about his plans to stay paid in full despite tours getting canceled by the pandemic. Things mellow out even more on the track Jodeci Tape, which has softer and smoother synths. It's just one verse where he drops some fly and mackish bars about a woman. He also boldly declares, "Became a millionaire just from being chill." And I can't think of anything that accurately describes Curren$y better than him being a millionaire just because he's who he is. And on the outro, we also get an audio clip from the movie Superfly, which adds to the overall laid-back blaxploitation vibes. The second to last track is Endurance Model featuring Larry June, which stylistically resembles the sounds of Covert Coupe the closest. The moodier jazz instrumental finds Curren$y at his best, as I would say this is definitely one of the highlights from the project. Then the album comes to a close with Cool in the Game. It's a dedication record to his son over a sparkling and jazzy soundscape. There's more references from the movie Superfly, in which Curren$y raps, "The Scatterman gave Priest his last scholarship." So do yourselves a favor if you already haven't and go check out the original Superfly from 1972. Yeah, the one from 2018 set in Atlanta was cool, as it was really lit and popping with the times. But if you really want to understand Curren$y better, you got to peep those old 70s flicks. Overall, I give this project a rating of 3.5 mics. It is a super consistent collaboration that lives up to the title Continuance, but it doesn't break any new ground or surpass their previous efforts. But they don't drop the ball either. That being said, it is a slow burn that took me multiple listens to get into. I didn't find the instrumentals to be nearly as compelling as the ones on projects like Covert Coupe, Fetty, or even recent Alchemist production found on projects like Bo Jackson or Alfredo. I'd even go as far as saying it's my least favorite Curren$y and Alchemist collaboration, but it's still dope and sonically cohesive, if that makes sense. While it had strong moments for sure, it was just a little too low energy as a whole for my liking. Therefore I would not recommend this project if you haven't gotten the proper amount of sleep and you're driving long distance on the roads or you're operating heavy machinery, because Despite that, it is still a solid project, but I would definitely have to be in a certain mood for it, as I feel it sonically resembles Alchemist's yacht rock projects more so than Covert Coupe or Carlton Heist. And as good as Alchemist is, I didn't love the yacht rock. My favorite tracks include Reese's Cup, No Yeast, Corvette Rally Stripes, Signature Move, Endurance Runners, and Cool in the Game. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Currency, Alchemist, Continuance, 1.